So before we get into this video, I just want to quickly state that this is the beta version of Battlefield 1. At the moment of recording this video, the full game is not out yet. It comes out in a few weeks from now. The beta is the only thing we've got, and I've been playing it quite a lot, so I know enough about the Battlefield 1 beta, but this is on the beta, so if there's things in here that are not in the full game, they're fixed, they've patched, and you're like, what are you on about? This is not in the game. They might have even made it worse in the full game, but if there's things in this that are not in the full game, or things that I've not mentioned, it's because this is the beta, not the full game. When the full game comes out, they'll fix a lot of these bad points that I've got, and some of the good points maybe even improved on. But anyway, let's get into this. So the first good point we've got, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people love this, and this is why Battlefield will be a good selling game in my opinion, is because it's a change. Now, the last game I actually played that was in a World War was Call of Duty World at War, which is really far back. That was like 2008, I believe, so that is actually really far back. Now, the way all first-person shooters are going now, we've got Titanfall really in the future, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare, for example, they're in the future. Battlefield's taken a step back. They're going more on the lines of World War 1, which is obviously what we're playing in this game. This is honestly so good, and this makes it feel like its own game. Call of Duty feels a lot like Titanfall. Titanfall feels a lot like Call of Duty because of their movement system. Halo even feels similar to them games because they're all in the future. All of them games are being set in the future now. They've all got war running and all that, and honestly I'm not a big fan of that. That's why I'm more of a zombies player myself, because it's no war running, none of this stuff, and it doesn't get very annoying, tedious when you're playing all these games. Like Titanfall, didn't enjoy it because I've already played Black Ops 3 and they just feel the exact same. But Battlefield definitely takes a step back from that, and it's its own game. It feels like its own game, and honestly, if you're playing it, you'll never get it mixed up. Like I play Titanfall, sometimes get mixed up with Black Ops 1. It's honestly that insane. But this feels like its own game, and it's taking a step back. No boost jumping in that. It's the original Battlefield style, but in a really late setting. Battlefield's been getting newer, like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4's newer, Battlefield Hardline's newer, but then we've got World War 1 styled Battlefield 1, which is honestly could be one of my favourite games to play this year. Now, I've only got two good points to go on about here, and this is the second one, guns and weaponry. There's a lot of weaponry to choose from. You'll never get bored of the same weapon. I prefer to use a sniper class more often, but there's 4 classes, and you can choose between loads of submachine guns and all this absolutely amazing stuff. You've got all the assault rifles, all the shotguns, a lot of good guns to choose from. You can even pick up guns from the ground that you found from other people if you've not unlocked them yet, and you can also pick up like massive miniguns to fire, and it's honestly, there's a wide array of guns, and you'll never use the same gun twice if you're honestly inclined to. You're inclined to use any gun you want, and honestly, you'll never get bored. Like in most first-person shooters, you'll always have that one gun you stick to. All guns are even in this game. Snipers for long range, but if you're close range, you'll have to use a submachine gun, where in other games, you can use an assault rifle at any distance. Assault rifles are only good for medium to short distance. You cannot go long range with an assault rifle, so it's really, really balanced out, these guns, and honestly, they feel so good. And there's not one gun that's actually overrated in this entire game, like the shotguns on Black Ops 2. You can just run around with them and kill people. They're so OP, but not in this game. In this game, you've only got the machine guns, and you've got the snipers, and you've got the assault rifles, and you've got the shotguns, but they're all as good as each other. They're all useful. Even the pistols are pretty useful, unlike in most first-person shooters where they're absolutely dreadful. Now, coming into the bad points, which is honestly the thing I'm most excited to talk about, because I think Battlefield should fix this, and I think they will in their main game when it actually comes out, but these are some really bad points I'm going to go on about now. The first one, and the first two actually go into each other kind of, but we've got lag and connection and the controls. Now, going on about lag and connection, and you'll probably see gameplay of it on screen now, I will hop in a vehicle and get pulled back like from 10 seconds where I was 10 seconds ago. I'll be running, get pulled back, I'll try to switch weapons, and I'll just switch back to my other weapon I had. It's like, what? It's so bad, and it took me about half an hour to connect to the EA servers. We know EA servers are pretty bad in themselves with like games like FIFA, a lot of their sports games, and a lot of their other games. They're very, very bad. So we've never known EA to actually have good connection in their servers, basically. But this is just extraordinarily bad. We've got Battlefield Hardline's beta, Battlefield 4's beta, which were fine. I played them, enjoyed them, but for some weird reason, the connection in this is absolutely dreadful. Not even connecting to the service itself, but when I'm in game, it says I have 0 ping, all that good stuff, because it's the beta. It doesn't say how much ping you've got, but then I'll play the game, I'll be like in a plane, and I'll crash due to lag, and it's just so annoying. We've also got controls that goes into it. Opening doors, opening windows are so difficult to do. You've got to be literally so precise, but I think that's just because of lag and you get pushed back a bit, which is honestly really annoying. And honestly, I think they will fix that in the full game. I hope they do at least. If they don't, I'm going to be really annoyed. And honestly, that's probably the reason I'm not playing this game now. The reason I'm giving you this review and not playing the game now is because I'm just so annoyed at that lag. That is the main point about the beta. We've also got textures, which I'm annoyed about, which is when sandstorms come in and stuff, and we've got all the sandstorms. Like, you've got breakable buildings, which is insane. You can shoot a building, it'll smash into pieces. Looks incredible, drive a tank into it. But we've got the textures of, like, the sandstorms. When the sandstorms come in, they go through the houses. They don't stop at the houses, they go through. So you can be in literally an enclosed space. You'll still see the sandstorm come through, which is not realistic in any way, shape, or form. The sandstorm could knock over the building, the sandstorm could just stay out the building, it depends, but when it comes through the building, and then you've got bullets which will come through the building even though they can't hit you, so you'll be shooting into a building, bullets will literally go through the building out to the other side, although they cannot kill you, they're like basically invisible bullets, which is honestly quite annoying. You think you're going to die, but you're just fine. It's honestly really weird how this works, and I think they will fix this, yeah, again, in the actual game, but, you know, this is one small detail which I think they could fix, and it's honestly annoying to see a really realistic shooter have this kind of texture problem. The last thing is maps. Now, this is only due to the beta. In the full game, we're going to have loads of maps, lots of maps to choose out of, but the reason I'm going with maps, just for the beta itself, and this is probably the worst reason on the list to actually be hating at the game, but the maps is the thing that I'm annoyed about, because the beta only has one map. In Hardline we had a few maps, Battlefield 4 we had a few maps, but for some reason in this beta we only have one map, and this map's really boring in my opinion. There's hardly any buildings, and when there is, it's just desert, and it's just, it honestly drives me really crazy. But on the bright side, in the actual game we're going to have much more maps to choose from, and that's why I think I'm going to enjoy this game. But if there was just this one map in the game, I wouldn't play it at all. This map gets really tedious and boring for me. If I played it now and again, it would probably be fine on my first couple of playthroughs, but when you play it over and over again, it's fine. We've also only got 2 teams in this beta, which is UK and Turkey, but in the full game we're going to have like Germany and the USA, we're going to have much more teams, and like I think Japan will be in it as well, but we've got a lot more teams in the actual game than we have in the beta. So people who are playing the beta now, like, we've only got 2 teams, this is stupid, and only 1 map. No, in the full game you will have much more to play with, but I'm just saying they should have put more maps in the beta in my opinion. Maybe they might have rushed the Battlefield 1 beta, but I hope they don't rush the full game, and I hope the full game is as good as I'm expecting it to be. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been a kind of rushed review, if you want to call it that. I have had a lot of experience with Battlefields in the past, Battlefield 4 being my favourite. Battlefield 1 is a very good game. I think it's got a lot of potential. Just these minor fixes, obviously the lag in connection and the controls are really major things in the game that makes it so unplayable, but I feel like they will fix that in the full game, and I'm hyped for Battlefield 1 when it comes out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, and goodbye.